Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Very good day wherever you are. Maybe you across the lands and over the beautiful seas. Welcome. Life Matters, where we explore the issues that shape our lives and our communities. Welcome to the show. Today's show, we are focusing on Hajj, the sacred pilgrimage that all Hujjaj embark on, being transformative, life-changing, and a spiritual journey of a lifetime. Now, it's also essential to prioritize self-care and well-being, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. Join us as we explore the physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of Hajj, as well as discuss practical tips and advice for a healthy and fulfilling experience. Joining me today is Unaiza, a young and inspiring Hajji who completed her Hajj last year. Unaiza's journey was not only physically demanding, but also spiritually transformative. She'll be sharing her valuable insights, tips, and experience to help this year's pilgrims navigate their own Hajj journey with ease and grace, inshallah. From spiritual preparation to physical self-care, Unaiza will guide us through her holistic approach to Hajj. And let's welcome her to the airways. Assalamu alaikum to you, Unaiza, and thank you so much for joining us.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And I am so honored to be back on this platform again with you, Gouwah. I can't believe that a year has passed, and here I am giving off advice for someone that was so nervous and overwhelmed embarking on my spiritual journey last year, the Hajj 1444.
Yeah, mashallah, time really does fly, and so much has happened during that time as well. But just to reminisce about it also, brings back all that spirit again, alhamdulillah. So now also joining me today is Faeeza Musa Sakur, a renowned somatologist with over 30 years of experience in treating skin ailments. Faeeza is the founder and owner of Santon Beauty Clinic, or Order International Cosmeceuticals, and Santon Beauty College. Her expertise in skin and scars has been featured in various media outlets, and she's even treated high-profile cases like the burns on little Puppy. Faeeza will share her valuable expertise on skincare, sun protection, and foot care, providing practical tips and advice for pilgrims to prioritize their physical health during this Hajj period. Assalamu alaikum and welcome, Faeeza.
Walaikum salam. Jazakallah for having me on this platform. And salam alaikum to Unaiza as well.
Yeah, you guys are almost in the same industry, so close by. So just a coincidence having to get both of you on. So shukran so much for joining us on the show. So let's get started. Tips for understanding how you need to stay hydrated, the importance of comfortable shoes, and all of that we're going to deal with. But firstly, Unaiza, if I could start with you. As we know, all potential and past Hajjis has a unique story to tell about the accreditation process for Hajj. What was your experience? Tell us your story. This might just even inspire and motivate our viewers who are embarking on their Hajj and accreditation journey.
MashaAllah, myself in 2019, I was so nervous. I was going through a very trial and testing period in my life, and I decided that I'm going to put my name on for the Hajj list. And so often people say to me that, I'm not ready for Hajj, or the waiting period is so long. I think the biggest thing for me, and this was a miracle, and I'm going to get to that in a moment, is the fact that I applied for Hajj in 2019, and subsequently, alhamdulillah, through the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I got married again. And when I found out that I was accredited for Hajj, my husband said to me, he also had his accreditation for Hajj. And we both applied at different times and received our accreditation simultaneously. So for me already, that was a miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that I got to embark on this journey of a lifetime and to fulfill this pillar of Islam with my husband. And for me, it was life-changing, because you never think, where are you going to be in 3 or 4 years from now? So for anyone that is not sure about putting their name on for that list, you should make that decision, because you don't know the future. You don't know where you're going to be in 3 or 4 years, 5 years. But alhamdulillah, through Allah's mercy, I managed to take on and commemorate the trials of our beloved Nabi Adam alayhi salam and Hajj alayhi salam with my life partner. And it was the most beautiful experience I've ever experienced in a lifetime. And they
MashaAllah.
say it is the journey of a lifetime. There is no words, that truth this, mashallah.
Wow. I know that your story probably is endless and you can go on for hours, and inshallah we must get you into the studio for that. But can you share some of your most memorable experiences during your Hajj?
Well, every step, every moment that you embark on your Hajj is so memorable. It is cast in your heart and in your soul that you'll never forget every stepping stone that you take. But what stood out most for me was the fact that the day of Arafat was just, and I'm sure everyone's journey is different and unique, and everyone can speak about their own journey, but I think for most pilgrims, the day of Arafat, that feeling, every time I think of it, my hair raises. The sun that's blazing on your face, the way the air smells, you almost feel Allah's mercy so close to your face, and the heavens are open, and you almost can feel that your du'as are being accepted in that moment, in that wukuf time. And you have your list of du'as and people that you make du'a from, but somehow people that you don't even think of, that's not even your list, will come to mind, and you will make dua for significant individuals, for the ummah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And that for me was, we've had many exciting moments during my Hajj trip. Like, we trained on Hajj. We helped, we get a lady, we took her off from a wheelchair, and I was running on the road trying to find an ambulance. I've had very exciting moments in my Hajj journey. But what stood out the most was the day of Arafat. It was just, words fail me, and how to explain the exhilarating moment of that wukuf time.
Yeah, thank you for sharing some of those pictures with us as well. It does just give a chill down my spine as well to think that, although there are pictures, photos somewhere on the laptop, on the phone, being there, the sensation of just being there and coming back to it just, puts chills down your spine. Unaiza, I would also like to understand and also think about how you manage the physical demands of this Hajj journey. What are some of the tips you can give female pilgrims to prioritize self-care? Because it's often, as you said, you help others, you're looking where others need your help, and sometimes Allah just sends you all that blessings to assist. But we forget, as females and with our spouses, pilgrims need to prioritize self-care during Hajj while also fulfilling their religious obligations. How did you balance that?
I've gotten very good advice, sage advice from a wise person that said to me two things. One, the positive outweighs the hardship. And number two, you need to take bags of support with you. I won't lie that going for Hajj is daunting, it's overwhelming. It is absolutely nothing like an Umrah trip. The test as a woman, the trials of wearing so many layers of clothes, dealing with the heat, with your scarf and your hijab, hoping that it doesn't fall off, or, you want it because you are in the state of servitude at all times, and you don't want to lose any moment that can compromise your state of servitude. But for me, what was so much easier was the preparations leading up to the Hajj. Is that obviously I am in the fitness field, I am in the beauty industry. Faeeza and I are actually neighbors in the Sandton city area, so we're very acquainted with each other. And having the preparations, and on all these Hajj groups, they will send you millions of lists and pack this and take this. And honestly, Hajj is so easy. And when you're there and you emulate the life of Hajj alayhi salam during the time of Safa Marwa, and the crowd was so intense that you cannot walk. It's like literally like an ocean of people doing your Safa Marwa at the same time. If you can just put yourself into that mode and step out of being in the year 2023 as it was, and put yourself into the time of Hajj alayhi salam and what she went through, and what we can emulate and learn from that, the tranquility and the patience and the sabr that she had as she was running between Safa Marwa in the sun, and here we are on marble, air conditioning. These are the things that help you to physically push through the crowds, emotionally to manifest and go through whatever your frustrations are, because you do get people that might push you, or somebody might nudge you, and you're stressing about the heat, the time that it takes you to complete your tawaf and your Safa Marwa. It's long, it's strenuous, it's physically, it's taxing on the body. But I think the moment you are there and you understand that I'm here for a purpose, I'm here to sacrifice myself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm here to submit, I'm in all submissions to Him. You find the strength and the courage some or the other. Lots of people will say, the bathrooms and going and using the bathrooms is a big problem. And a lot of women saying they don't want to go for Hajj because of the negativity around that.
Yeah.
However, when you are there in your Hajj time, you develop friends, friendships, sisterhood that you'd never think or imagine from far and wide. And everybody comes together because everybody is in the same sort of boat where they just rubbing shoulders with millions of people, and you almost become so humble in that moment that you assist one another, and the bathroom issues become almost an excitement, and it becomes fun that we're going to go with each other, we're going to help each other. The thing was, and I have to mention this, we're sorry to interject, is that you never felt so clean having a shower in a low toilet.
Yeah,
I flushed the toilet and the water came from my head, and I literally had a shower at that moment. And I walked out of there and I felt, I feel so clean and dark and nice after having this bath. So yeah, Allah puts that in your heart to manage and overcome those little hurdles. They're there for a reason.
The irony,
supposed to be
oh my
challenged.
goodness,
It's supposed to
Unaiza.
teach you.
Yeah. I'm so glad you mentioned that example, because the irony of that, and just me thinking back, standing over a toilet, having your shower and feeling so clean. Thank you so much, Unaiza, for sharing that. We need to take a quick break, but when we come back, some tips from Faeeza, the somatologist, and how to, navigate these emotional challenges, how to prepare your feet, your body, your skin, the sun possibly, that could be a detriment sometimes. But more after the short break. Do stay with us. We want you also to tell us your Hajj story, more just after this. Welcome back. Assalamu alaikum. A very good day to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you are, tell your friends, family and colleagues over the lands and across the beautiful seas. They can also watch us on www.hilaal.tv and then catch the show later on our YouTube channel. Tell us your self-care advice, a tip that you had during your Hajj, what you want to know to advise other Hajjis you're going to be chatting to. And surprisingly, we just got a call in the break from one of our viewers saying, how true that is, Unaiza. She shared with us, just in the first segment, of standing under that shower, as I mentioned, standing in the shower, which is over the toilet, because you have to do your business in the toilet and shower at the same time. And you walk out there feeling so refreshed, so good. It didn't even feel like you stood under a shower. So this caller just wanted me to reiterate to our viewers that, yes, as Unaiza said, you think that you don't want to go there just for that reason only. Let me tell you, it's the best thing that you can do even after this shower you've had at home. So welcome back as we chat about self-care during this most spiritual journey of every Muslim's lifetime. With me is Hajji of 2023, Unaiza. Her journey has not only been physically demanding because she realized, she needed to prepare herself being in the physical industry, but also spiritually transformative. And we will also be hearing from Faeeza now, Faeeza Musa Sakur, somatologist specializing in skincare ailments for the past 30 years. So just so interesting, I was chatting to Faeeza, and welcome back, ladies. Faeeza, with you, I wanted to find out from you, with regards to the physical and emotional challenges pilgrims face during Hajj, as Unaiza mentioned, you being a Hajji, taking back 2016, that's like almost 8 years ago. Just quickly, before we dive into your realm of skincare and taking care of yourself, how different was Hajj back then in 2016 and listening to Unaiza describing her Hajj?
Marf, it was 2006. I just realized my daughter's 18 years old.
Wow, much longer than 10 years then.
So I just remember Salma was 10 months old when we left her.
Wow.
And the first thought you have as a person who has no idea what you're going into is my children need to be safe. My children need to be safe. And I had the most amazing experience. Like Unaiza said, when you make your intention, it's a calling. And I put my name on the list. And Alhamdulillah, we got accepted. And we put gates for our kids to be protected. We put gates in the house. We brought both grannies. And we were ready and all set to go. And I went to give some charity for Sadqa, for leaving for Hajj. And the one thing I remember, which I don't know if it's being done now, Unaiza and Hawa, but I went to get Hajj vests made where we had zips put in 2006. So we thought we'd carry our money. I don't know if cell phones were out then, but we had cell phones, I think, small little Nokias or whatever, or BlackBerry. And we could put things in there. And I saw a tall lady, and she was hanging on to her child. And I stopped at Fordsburg, and I wanted to give out the sadqa, and she says, "Take my child." And I said, "What?" And she was dying, and she had nowhere to give her child, and I could not take the child.
Yes,
and that's what I remember. My journey started with a woman that had no food, no money, no protection. She knows she's dying, and she's giving me her child, and I couldn't because I was going for Hajj. Long story short, I dreamt of the Kaaba in the dirt road days, and that's the reason my grand said it was a calling. And it wasn't dirt road when I went. This lady and her hanging on to her child and me seeing the Kaaba for the first time, and I'm listening to Unaiza, the first person I thought of making dua for was this girl, and apparently that kid and her turned out to be Muslim, and she had no belief system, and we read the Shahada together. So my journey started in South Africa. So reading the Labbaik, you don't even realize Allah's already calling you there. You just need to keep reading it. And when I reached there, I saw no dirt road. So I saw a marble tile, and the Kaaba was there, and everything looked semi-modern. But if you come out through any door of the Kaaba, you're lost. And they don't tell you. You're going through one door, and there's 1,000 doors that you need a landmark. So that's the one thing I found is you need to know the landmark of the door you're coming out from, as well as there was air conditioning. But what I see now is layers and layers and layers of Hajjis, which we didn't have in 2006. It was just one floor, maybe a second floor. So I don't know. It seems very different the way I went and what I see on TV now. It looks very modern, extremely modernized. Even the ablution facilities, with us it was tents. So I'm not sure how it is now, but that was my experience. But Alhamdulillah, it's still amazing.
And the facilities on Mina, I also look back at 8 years ago. We were also standing over the toilet showering, and it's the best shower you could have for that day.
Yes.
Cleaning yourself, because that is for women a big thing. It is. I mean, for men as well, but for women it's a big thing.
That's what we had as well.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't change that to marble too.
Okay. All right, so you had a bit of the same feeling. Let's look at how pilgrims, and going back to your expertise, Faeeza, how can pilgrims prepare and prevent possible pitfalls and injuries when it comes to protecting their skin from frequent washing? Because we're doing wudu all the time. You want to cool yourself down, so you wash yourself. What is the water like if it's possibly harsh during the Hajj season? And are there any specific products or tips one can use that you'd like to share?
So I know at the Haram stage, pre-Hajj, you're allowed to use Zamzam all the time. And the Zamzam water is amazing on the skin. Okay. But the moment you heat it or try and cool it, so if you put ice or you try and heat it, it doesn't have the same effect. So using Zamzam neat on your skin, making dua, Ya Nuru, and all the duas you've been given for your skin, don't make light of it. It literally, Hajis come home with this glow that no product can actually give you. But coming to actually the physical aspect of products, and knowing that you are going to face harsh conditions and different climates, as well as temperature in water, as well as whether the water is hard or soft, Allah says tie your camel. So we're going to do that today. We're going to tie our camel and see where it takes us. And inshallah, with Allah's nur, you'll come back with a good, safe skin. So what we have is we have skincare that is all over Makkah and Medina, and a lot of people are tempted to buy skincare when they go for these events, and that's what we need to shy away from. So with regards to protecting the skin, the first thing I would say is make sure that you are carrying your set of products that you use currently to the place that you are going to. And washing the skin constantly is not a good thing because you remove the acid mantle. So you're making wudu, but constantly using your cleanser and thinking you're dirty during that period and using a scrub type of cleanser is absolutely not allowed, because you're going to come back with a raw skin, a skin maybe with pigmentation, because now you've damaged the skin. So try to be gentle and make sure you're using pH balanced products, and you are protecting your skin with the barrier type of product as well as the sun protection. And during the times that you are making wudu, because you're going to be constantly making wudu, you must keep your wudu fresh. It aids in reapplying the product and remembering to reapply the product. Also, when you are very close proximity to other people, they breathe on your skin, your hair feels very scratchy and itchy because you're not allowed to wash, I know, for the 5 days, your hair. So everything becomes very itchy. So you need to take almost like a spray type of product that you can protect your scalp with as well, because the scalp becomes a big issue for me.
Okay. Let's talk about sunscreen and using, type of sunscreen. Your thoughts on using sunscreen during Hajj, and do you have any recommendations? You've mentioned some tinted sunscreens. Are they allowed to clear any sunblock options? And also to please elaborate on the importance of sunblock.
So when I went in 2006, I remember I did the Cosmoland peel. It's a very, very active peel for my skin. But I found that somehow the South African sun was more harsh on my skin than going there. I expected to come back really, really damaged and burnt, because you're constantly removing your sunscreen and you're not reapplying it in the way you should. And sometimes perspiration, because of the heat, removes it. And some people wearing parda, that product can actually go on the material of the parda. So yes, you need to wear sun protection, but make sure when you're making wudu, you need to remove all that product. And if that product is a barrier type of product, it's going to cause your wudu not to be complete. So that's number one to worry about. That as much as we want to protect our skin and we're wearing barrier-based products and tinted creams and tinted moisturizers because we want an even skin tone and look like beautiful Hajjis out there, and we have pigmentation we want to cover, we've got acne scars, we also have to realize that the purpose is for the Hajj to be complete and for you not to have too many dams, if you know what dam means, not too many errors, too many mistakes. So in the beauty industry, we're following lines that we shouldn't be, like following lines that are blur, and we need to straighten them out. So let's start with a sunscreen that you asked me. You need an SPF. And unfortunately, the broad spectrum sunscreens have barriers in it, and that barrier repels UVC, UVB, and infrared, and it absorbs the harmful rays as well. So the sunblocks and sunscreens in one. You want them, but if it's oil-based and you're not going to remove it with an oil-based cleanser, then you would do it incomplete. But wearing them, if you know that you're going to remove it properly, then wear it every hour. So you're going to reapply every hour. And even if you're protecting your skin with shade, from sunlight, with shade and sun hats, the sun still penetrates through all of that. So you need to keep reapplying. So that's what I say with sunscreen. With moisturizers, you want a petroleum-based moisturizer, not a lotion. Again, you need to remove it with an oil-based product. You can't remove petroleum with a hydrating cleanser that's water-based. You have to use an oil type of cleanser. So a nice baby oil would be advisable if you use it in South Africa and it agrees with you.
Okay.
But then if you're going to go there and use an oil-based product, you might break out. So these are the things you need to watch out for.
So I still want to touch on cracked heels, looking after your feet, persistent foot problems that people do suffer from even after they come from Hajj and still suffering from, wearing the correct shoes and socks. But we need to take a quick break. When we come back, we chat more with Unaiza, our Hajji of 2023. as well as somatologist Faeeza, who did a Hajj back in 2006, mashallah. 2006, mashallah. And just reminiscing on how things have changed. But the weather, the sun, the conditions, the harsh, whether it is the sun, whether it is the lying on certain places, or rubbing around with other people, it's all still there and just actually increased with the millions of Hajjis today. But we need to quickly pay the bills, more just after this short break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm loving your interaction. Please do keep them coming. Whether it's your questions, your comments, just your concerns on Hajj, people that has already been on Hajj and have some questions for the Hajjis, even just, planning to go on Umrah. It's actually definitely enlightening as we chat to somatologists. Preparing spiritually before Hajj, setting your intentions and your goals is something that we chatted about. But self-care specifically during the most spiritual journey of every Muslim's lifetime. With me is Hajji of 2023, Unaiza, and her spiritually and physically daunting journey. Unaiza is guiding us through her holistic approach to Hajj, as well as Faeeza Musa Sakur, somatologist specializing in skin ailments for over 30 years. She's also the founder and owner of Santon Beauty Clinic, or Aura International Cosmeceuticals, and Santon Beauty College. And Unaiza and Faeeza just happened to be neighbors, so what a coincidence for me to get hold of them both. Unaiza, we chatted to during our Hajj broadcast last year, so inspirational. But I want to come back to you, Unaiza, because we know the reality of Hajj is there, the added necessary sabr that you mentioned that one has to come to experience. How do you cope with the crowds, the heat, the physical demands of the journey? How did you also stay hydrated, energized, and healthy throughout your journey? Any tips for our Hajjis?
Absolutely. So preparing for Hajj is like prepping for a marathon. You're not just going to go and run this marathon without, preparing yourself physically. Then the physical preparations came with walking a lot more, walking in the sun, walking outside, and getting comfortable with your pair of sneakers that you will use during your Hajj time so that your feet mold into those pairs of shoes, because you know that you walk a lot during Hajj. It is very hot, and dealing with that, the sweating of the feet, the change of climate, preparing in time for this was one of the pivotal things that helped me during my Hajj journey. What I also found was that, and I do advise this to the viewers, is that if you can prepare yourself with intermittent fasting, you allow yourself to not eat too much in the morning. So when you are on your Hajj journey, especially the days of Arafat, and when you are in Mina, you are able to control your diet so that you don't need to use or frequent the bathrooms as often, so that you don't, you're not getting that extra bulge. That for me was very, it was life-changing, because I was able to just live off hydrating liquids. And the food in the camp that I was at was very different to the camp that the most South Africans stayed in, where they had South African meals, they had crumb chicken and chips and all of that. In the camp that I was in Camp 8, we had the African meal. So we ate very little where we were. Okay. What helped me was always hydrating. I was like a paramedic all the time. I had loads of these concoctions to keep ourselves hydrated. And alhamdulillah, it's a wealth of wellness supplements in South Africa that you can take along with you, that you're accustomed to, like keeping up with the electrolytes and the hydration, and fueling up with the water, because the last thing that you want to do is feel depleted because you're dehydrated because of the temperature and the amount of walking and the calories that you are burning. This journey of spiritual purification, I don't know if you saw the video or the picture that I sent to you. When I got back from the pelting the shaitan, on the last day, we're allowed to take out your ihram. Once your sheep has been slaughtered, you got the notification. And I had a clean face cloth and I had a dirty face cloth. you look clean, and when you come back from Hajj, internally you are so much more purified. And that for me was such a, like I said to my
Mashallah.
family, look at the outward appearance may look the same, but inwardly there is such a significant change post Hajj or during your Hajj journey. For me, that was just such a remarkable feeling.
Wow, beautiful. And I've definitely put that picture up for our viewers to see as well. Faeeza, I want to get back to some of the products and the helpful hints when it comes to what to take with. You recommended that there are some great products that one can buy in the in Makkah and Medina. Can you recommend some of and advise us on unscented products that pilgrims can use during the Hajj period? And does it cause, and if it does cause any irritation or allergic reactions, what can they do?
I find that you can definitely find affordable products over the counter. Make sure that it does say unscented and it's reputable. It has its own certification. You have a very famous product, Cetaphil and Eucerin, that dermatologists prescribe a lot. You will get certain affordable products there. With regards to a cleanser and a toner, a moisturizer, the basics that you use here, don't now go and change it. When you go for Hajj, just buy travel packs from Westpac, decant it in there, and take it along with you. And with regards to your feet, like Unaiza said, your feet can pronate or supinate, and it's very important not to wear flat-footed shoes, as well as shoes that don't have a backing and open toe. Because I went in with great feet, and until the day you have to look after your feet. Coming back from Hajj, you get these cracks that are, I don't know if they're lifetime cracks, if I can call them, but you have to look after them. And managing them with pure cocoa butter. So you have this pure cocoa butter blocks.
Okay.
We have them, you can get them anywhere from Unaiza as well. And you literally take this with you, but keep it very cool because it melts under room temperature. Okay. It's the purest form of moisturizer for your skin from head to toe. If you're using pure cocoa butter, nothing can touch you when it comes to dryness and cracks. This really repairs collagen, it repairs moisture, it seals in moisture, it prevents cabin pressure moisture loss. It has so many benefits. And all you do is you rub it in the palm of your hand, and the moment you rub it, the oil comes off on your hand.
I see it,
you just massage it on the area that you need it. And so it'll keep your skin scar-free. It'll keep your skin pigmentation-free. It's going to help your skin regenerate. It's going to repair cracks. It's going to create a barrier on the heels. So when you're wearing socks in your shoes and a nice Skechers or a nice, a green cross shoe, so that you're keeping the moisture in with the socks, you've got the cocoa butter on, and you wiping obviously very nicely between your toes when you're washing the feet. You can even wash with the cocoa butter. It actually moisturizes the feet as well and the whole body. But again, you need to worry about the barrier aspect. Okay. So it must be the last thing you do before you sleep. Okay. And for the feet, yes, because it's a small area to get rid of. But if you're putting it on the whole body and you're going to make wudu, then the wudu can be faulted or it can be not accepted if the oil is still on the skin. So those are the things that you must also worry about by using barriers.
I think I need to get me a block of those for each bathroom, not just for myself, for all the kids as well. Tell me about, pigmentation. A lot of women suffer from pigmentation. Going there in that harsh sun, you've mentioned South African sun being harsher, but, it feels like the Saudi sun is. What do women do? How can they manage their current pigmentation to not get worse when they do go on Hajj or
the main thing is, if you want to go there and you want to wear less makeup, because we are vain and we don't want people to see us with pigmentation. So if you are doing any peels, do it way before the Hajj time. You cannot do a peel now if Hajj is next week. That's absolutely unacceptable. I would not ever allow it. 2, microneedling with peels. Avoid it before Hajj. If you want to take a little bit of a microneedling or a machine or a derma roller, because you're not going to have time for having facials there, you can do a little 0.25 derma roll and use hydrating serums at night. So that will push in more moisture and hold more moisture. But when it comes to the sun and sun protection, you can't, I was advised, I'm not sure how true this is, that you're not going to wear parda on the 5 days of Hajj. Is it allowed now? Because I remember when I went for Hajj, they said the parda was not allowed because nothing was allowed to touch the nose. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. There are women
So
that
then
wear
what
the
happens
visors. They wear the visors and then the cloth hangs. Yeah.
So that's a very nice thing because those visors, I love them for sun protection. In fact, everybody should wear the visors, and it actually protects the skin from the sun. But you want to put sun protection with sunscreen and sunblock in one. And I know La Rochelle and certain products make it. We have a fragrance-free one. You also have to check if it's fragrance-free and keep applying it every hour. So that's going to protect your skin from the sun. Don't use peel type of products, salicylic, glycolic. Avoid those type of cleansers that are harsh on the skin, because if you're going to strip too much of the oils, the natural oils of the skin, you're going to cause your skin prone to pigmentation, freckles, acne scars, and that kind of thing. So with pigmentation, best to prevent it when you're going for Hajj, not to use product to prevent it. Use glutathione. So you get like, we have the white tomato that Unaiza keeps, so you can go anywhere and get a glutathione supplement that's affordable if you can't get the white tomato. And it's an antioxidant. It'll keep you healthy. It's one of the best antioxidants, but at the same time, it demelanizes the skin. It reduces the enzyme tyrosinase, and it changes the pure melanin to eumelanin, which is a lighter melanin. So it keeps the pigmentation or the melanocytes submissive, and it keeps the melanin where it needs to be in the dermis and not in the epidermis. I hope that helps.
It does. It does.
A little bit of technical jargon there.
I want to get to more technical stuff because some women have a vitamin C hyaluronic serum. They had certain routines at night, just to go through some of the tips of what to take with and if it's necessary during your time of Hajj, and more on Unaiza's transformative experience, what she brought home, what was emotionally transformative for her just after the short break. Don't miss out. Back in a moment. Welcome back. Assalamu alaikum. Hajj and self-care. Often we don't prioritize that, but that is a must when we come back. As we realize we've done this Hajj, it's left a mark in our souls and our spirits, but then it's also left some body parts with marks and scars as well. So we help deal with that through the Hajj journey with our guest today. This being the most spiritual time of any Muslim's life, we have Hajji of 2023, Unaiza. Her journey was not only physically demanding as she prepared for walking Hajj, but also spiritually transformative. From spiritual preparation, she guides us through physical and emotional self-care. And Unaiza has some helpful tips for us at the end of the show, as well as Faeeza, who did her Hajj back in 2006, mashallah, somatologist who's been in the industry of skin ailments for over 30 years and is the founder and owner of Santon Beauty Clinic. You can also find her products or international cosmeceuticals, and she runs the Santon Beauty College. So Faeeza, if I could come back to you quickly, some question that has just come in from one of our viewers, and that is on chafing for men. You've showed us the block that you use, the cocoa butter block, amazing. I need to get me one. But would that help for those having that problems? And if they don't have a cocoa butter block, what can they use?
The first thing you need to understand is the shaving is going to happen between men, with men and women, because some women that are overweight, their thighs touch. Some women shave, they don't laser. So it's caused primarily because of shaving, and then the skin is rough, as well as the skin friction, the skin touching in certain areas like underarm and between the legs. So the first thing is you need to carry a hydrocortisone cream, something that's prescribed if it's very, very hectic, where you get an odor from it. Then maybe an antifungal with the hydrocortisone cream from your doctor. Make sure you take your script along as well in case you need more, and apply that at night. Do not apply that when you're in the sun. It can make the area darker. And then during the day, you can spray our anti-allergy spritzer and the Miracle Scar Block. So it's going to prevent that from getting darker as well as create the barrier. But if you don't have the pure cocoa butter blocks, you can get the SBR cream on I think online and at Clicks, the SPR has a yellow and a red cream, which are barrier creams. And so you can just take an SPR along and put it in between the legs, making sure not to overshave, shave in one direction, shave when the skin is warm. Try not to shave if you can avoid it, and do lasers before you go. But if time doesn't permit, then these are the tips that I would suggest.
So, Unaiza, I want
and loose-fitting clothing.
Yes.
Yeah, loose-fitting clothing. You don't want to put tight underwear or, those cycling shorts.
Not good advice. Okay. Thank you for that, Faeeza. Unaiza, I want to get back to you on advice to give to this year's pilgrims on how to cultivate a deeper spiritual connection during their Hajj, or how to appreciate those moments of frustration or emotions and turn them into resilience and, of course, appreciation, as one might not be able to perform this journey again. What are some tips for making the most of your Hajj experience and bringing its blessings back home?
I think the biggest thing is to understand that you need to have an attitude of gratitude for the experience. It is a once in a lifetime experience, and you're not going to get this back again. And if you're going to go with a mindset of negativity, dismissal, you're not going to value and appreciate the change and the transformation and the spiritual clarification or detoxification that you can take back from the time that you are on your Hajj trip. So for me, coming back with a deeper connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and just having that, to be able to surrender to Him when I got back, it was easy when you are there, and it's so easy when you come back to lose trail of what the purpose is behind going for Hajj. The trials of and understanding the knowledge and the history behind Hajj, and understanding the deeper trials of all the Nabis and whoever has performed Hajj, you take back a page in their book that you can bring back home and emulate little things or change little things within yourself. I think most people expected me that when I came back from Hajj to have this major transformation and you needed to look and act and be a specific way. But I think the deeper connection stems from your heart. It stems from what you take back as an individual, and you know your weaknesses and your strengths and your vices, and where you can change your nafs and make it into a positive change. And that is something you can do on your own. Nobody can tell me what to change, and I can't tell the next person what they should change.
Yeah.
But coming back with significant change internally was the biggest thing for me. People said to me, oh, now you're going to wear a abaya and scarf and you're going to change. And I actually look the same as I did pre-Hajj. But internally, definitely not the same person I was pre-Hajj.
MashaAllah, such beautiful words, Unaiza. And then we also have to look at some of the essential items. Any advice to Hajjis about essential items you would recommend packing for Hajj? What advice would you give to pilgrims on how to stay organized and focused at the same time during their Hajj?
Absolutely. I love to elaborate about this because I had so many questions during my Hajj trip about the packing for Hajj. And I think that was the most exciting part, was that family and friends contributed to so much when it came to the packing of my Hajj bag. But I just want to say, and I want to streamline this, that if you are organized, you will be more confident on your journey. I had packed everything and I labeled it. So I had day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. Sorry, not day 5. The first 3 days, your ihram, what are you wearing? And the other days that go with your Hajj. If you can label it and you have your, with me, I don't know if you remember when we did the videos, I had a matching scarf and a matching abaya and a matching bag. I did carry all of that because I still wanted to look good and feel good as I supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I had all of that organized. I did have my medication pre-packed in those little tablet organizers. I did take a lot of vitamin C and all those effervescents. I pre-packed them in the days so that I didn't have to carry too much. Because remember, when you go to Mina, you don't have a big suitcase that you can carry with you, but you do need those essential items as email. Having my medical kit prepped and ready, 5 Buscopens, headache tablets, anti-allergies. What helped me significantly, because you'll find that a lot of people come back from Hajj and they develop this cough and this flu that just does not leave them. I recommend that every female should get a script for Urizone, whether you have a urinary tract infection or a bladder infection or not.
Okay.
After the 5 days of Hajj, if you take that, it actually just, it's like an antibiotic that clears out the body of any infection that you might have picked along the way. What Faeeza said was so important about, taking care of your skin and keeping hydrated. But when you're there, you forget to spritz, you forget to put sunblock. You would want to make the most of your time in ibadat and in praying, and less in vanity. So I had my little creams decanted so that I know that I didn't have to, it wasn't a headache. I could just keep them in my bag, my crossbody bag. My sister had gifted me a wudu little, like a canister that you could take with you, which had enough water to make your wudu without going into the ablution facilities. I did have the kits for istinja. So all these things that I took with, and they don't take up a lot of space. If you can prepare and get them in advance, when you are there, your last thing is that you're worried about is, you're always in the state of cleanliness in your park, but you can then focus on your ibadat, which is your primary reason that you are there in that 5 days of Hajj. You'll never get the time back again.
Yeah. Thank you, Unaiza. That's been some great, helpful tips. And now, Faeeza, we need to squeeze your do's and don'ts quickly in our last minute we have left. How can you keep your skin clean and hygienic, especially in the crowded, unsanitary environments? And any do's and don'ts, your last few tips for the show, inshallah.
The main thing is to hydrate, sunscreen, using a cleanser that's pH balanced, moisturizer that's, you have to have fragrance-free everything, but have a hydrating moisturizer and a nourishing moisturizer for night, and making sure you carry some Bactroban ointment or Superiorban if you're not pregnant, so that if you have any unforeseen circumstances of rash and breakouts, you've got a plan of action and you can apply these at night. As well as if your doctor allows you some scripts on your prednisones, your cortisones, hydrocortisones, anti-allergies, because it's very hard to get to a hospital there, and keep your doctor on call on your WhatsApp. Make sure that you have scripts that can be emailed to you, etc. If you're there and you're stuck and you have any skin condition that's going out of control, like eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis, hives, etc.
Thank you so much, Faeeza. And also don't forget that Sahuk is there during the Hajji's journey to help and assist wherever they can. I found them very helpful, even assisting with some IV drips if possible. But a big thank you to our guest on the show, Unaiza, as well as Faeeza. I know Unaiza's can also assist Hajji, so connect with her. She's got a social media package, a social media page where she can also help Hajjis put together some small little packages and visit Santon Beauty Clinic out at Santon City to assist for that cocoa butter block. I'm definitely going to get me one. Shukran, Faeeza, for your helpful advice. And to you, Unaiza, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Assalamu alaikum.
Ameen. Jazakallah for having us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you to our viewers for joining us on this journey to prioritize self-care and well-being for Hajj pilgrims. Remember, taking care of your physical, emotional and spiritual health is crucial to fully embracing the blessings and lessons of this sacred journey. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all Hujjaj a safe and healthy and spiritual enriching experience, and may they come back home safely to their loved ones, and may their loved ones also be safe back home as well. Until next time, stay blessed, connected and cared for. Until then, stay informed and engage. Always remember, your life matters. Wassalamu alaikum and goodbye.